right, so today's lesson, we're going to look at the basic camera operations. We're going to look at the different shots that we use with our cameras, whether it's video or solitary shots, as well as the angles that we use for them, okay? Now, on each one of these, we're going to talk about how it's created and what its purpose is. So what the director or the cinematographer is trying to accomplish by using this shot, okay? As we're going over the information, and I'll just kind of go here on to the next slide here, but we'll skip it real quick. When we get into these, like this one, you can see that it says created by and purpose here on the screen. Your job as we're talking about it is to go over this information. Type this information in, okay? Now there are specific things that you need to have for each one so that you have these taken care of. Bennett, do me a favor, take your hood off, man, and sit up for me so that we have all the information that we need to have. Any questions? No? All right, now this lesson is going to become your notes for how to do the very first project. So if you don't have this information at least recorded or have access to it, then it's going to be very hard for you to do the first project, okay? You need the information in it to be able to complete it, okay? Any questions? All right, so we're going to first start, and I'm going to show you guys this. Actually, I'm going to stop my share here just for a second because I'm not sure if I shared the audio, and I didn't. I'm going to show you guys a movie trailer, okay? Now, the job of a movie trailer is to do what? Who can tell me? What's the job of a movie trailer, Daniel? What's a movie trailer's job?
To give you a preview of a movie.
Okay. What's its job as far as advertisement? What's its job for that? Michael? What are we trying to accomplish with this? Exactly, to make you want to watch it. Great job. So it's to make you want to watch the movie. Now, in this case, I'm going to show you a movie trailer. It's a little intense. It's an older movie trailer that's been around for a little bit from the first movie, the first Suicide Squad movie. Now, the movie itself was not very good, okay? I think pretty much anybody who is a comic book movie fan will tell you that it wasn't that great. But what this trailer does is it is amazing at grabbing your attention and really making you want to watch the movie. And that's why so many people went and saw it. Unfortunately, were disappointed later when they left. Okay. Now, the reason why this movie trailer is so good is because of how this movie trailer is put together. Okay. The biggest thing that you guys have to know, and I don't care if you write this down on a Post-it and stick it to your screen, scratch it down on a bubblegum wrapper, tattoo it to your forehead. It doesn't matter. But the one thing that you have to understand is the more variety in your camera shots and angles that you use, the more interesting your work is going to come out, okay? And the more interesting it's going to be, the more attractive it's going to be, the more intense it's going to be, the more it's going to make people want to go see it. So even if your movie isn't all that great, like this one here, it's still going to make you want to go see the movie, okay? So I just want you to watch it, and I want you to look at all the different ways that the cameras are shot, from the different angles and the different types of shots that you see in here, okay?
Is this the real life?
Let me out of here, Donald, please.
Is this just fantasy?
Notice the different positions of the camera, the different positions of the subject in the shots.
I want to assemble a task force of the most dangerous people on the planet.
They're bad guys. Worst of the worst.
Too late. Open the gate. My time has come. Send shivers down my spine.
What's this, cheerleading trials?
All the time.
Hi, boys.
Goodbye, everybody.
Deadshot. Guy shoots people. He's a crocodile, and he eats people. Burns people. You're possessed by a witch, and she's just crazy.
What was that? I should kill everyone and escape? Sorry. The voices. I'm kidding. That's not what they really said.
This is the deal. You're going somewhere very bad.
Whoa!
Do something that'll get you killed.
Let's go save the world.
I can't wait to show you my toys.
Let's do something fun.
Seriously, what the hell's wrong with you people?
We're bad guys. It's what we do.
Nothing really matters to me.
Oops, going again. Oops, that's not what we wanted. All right. Full screen there. Ah, move on. There we go. Now, it doesn't matter what you're watching, what you're filming, what you're creating. Every video, film, TV show, trailer, all that stuff, it doesn't matter if it's a commercial or anything. You're going to see multiple different styles of camera work and shots. You're going to see the way the camera is going to be positioned in a different way, and it's your reasoning. Now, this is mostly going to be up to the cameraman, but also to the cinematographer and the director of the movie or whatever it is that you're watching. Now, the whole purpose of this is, like we said before, to keep the viewer captivated, to make them want to go see it. Like this action right here. How many of you guys right now would want to go if you didn't know anything about this movie? But if you saw that trailer, it's pretty amazing and it's pretty enticing. It's going to make you, if that's the type of movie that you're into for the most part, it's going to make you want to go see it. And I believe a lot of you would agree at that same time. This is a great trailer because it makes you want to go see it, even though the product itself isn't all that good. Now, overall, there are 10 main camera shots that we use. Now, when you combine them, you get a wider variety. But in general, there's believed to be 10 basic shots that we're going to do. And we're going to go through and we're going to examine each one of them. Okay, your job while we're doing this is to complete the information blanks at the bottom, okay, that talk about how it was created and also what its purpose is in order to have that information when you're going to be working on your first project, okay? Now, each of the examples that I'm going to show you guys that are on here, these are all from major motion pictures. They might not be from ones that you might know, but we're going to try and broaden your horizons with that as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to look at our first one right here, and this is called an establishing shot. Now, an establishing shot is also known as an extreme long shot. Why do you think it's called an extreme long shot? Allison, why is it called an extreme long shot, do you think?
Probably because it has like a bunch of things in it, and it's like over like a bunch of land and like stuff. I don't know.
Well, look at the title. It's extremely long, right? So why do you think they call it an extreme long? Because it's shot from an extremely long distance. It's not, a lot of these names and titles, guys, are going to be obvious into why this is done. Okay? So it's created by, and you're going to use this right here as our first example, it's created by filming from an extreme distance. And this is usually going to be, and in parentheses, you can put that in there, that it's usually an aerial shot. So you can tell that this shot here was used by some form of aerial photography. Okay. Now the film clip that you see in this picture, this is from the movie The Great Gatsby, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. By looking at the movie, or by looking at this here shot, or what its purpose is, we can establish, just by looking at the clues and what we're seeing in it, we can establish the general time frame or the general setting. Okay, that's what this purpose is. That's what this shot's purpose is to establish the general setting. So that's the general time period and the general location. By looking at the image, and you guys might not have as much background knowledge as I do to go with this, but if you look at this image, I can tell that this is by the types of the buildings that are up, as well as the style of the bridge, as well as the type of cars that I'm seeing in it. I can tell you that this is going to be this is right around the late 1920s, early 1930s. Okay. I can also tell by looking at the skyline that this is the 1920s, 1930s New York City. So even though it doesn't come right out and tell you that this movie or this scene will take place in the late 1920s, early 1930s New York City, by looking at the information that's in there, looking at the information that the photograph or the video is showing, I can gain that information. So the purpose of the establishing shot or the long shot, extreme long shot, is to establish a general understanding or a basic understanding of the scene's setting. So where it says purpose, that's what I want you to have. It establishes a basic understanding of a scene setting. These are things that you have to type into the blanks, okay? And you're going to have to complete and turn in. Now, as we move closer, and this is just a general rule of thumb, as the camera moves closer to the subject, and the subject can be anything, but whatever the shot's main character is or main subject is, as the camera moves closer to it, we're providing more information and more detail to our viewers, okay? So here we have the establishing shot where we're about as far back away from our subject as we can possibly get. In this next shot, we're going to move a little bit closer. Now, if this is called an extreme long shot, Hudson, what do you think the next one's going to be called? If this is an extreme long shot, what do you think this next one's going to be?
Long shot.
Good job. It's going to be called a long shot. Okay? And that's what this is. So we're still not up front and in the face of say, our subject yet. We're still dealing with purpose, but the job of a long shot, the purpose of a long shot, we'll use purpose because that's what we've been doing before. The purpose of a long shot is now to establish a scene setting. So with an extreme long shot, we just got a general idea, okay? We just got a general idea of a scene setting. But in the long shot, because we've moved closer, we're providing the viewer with more details, more information, so now we can firmly establish the scene's setting, okay? That's what the purpose is. It's created by filming from a long distance. Okay, in this case, this is from the movie Josie and the Pussycats. So this is the world famous Roosevelt Hotel on Sunset Strip in in Los Angeles. Okay, so this is a pretty famous hotel. So because of the hotel that they're using in here, I automatically know what town. I can tell you the street that it's on. Okay, I can also tell by the advertisement that's hanging on there what year or rough year it's going to be, that this is going to be the late 1980s, early 1990s. Okay, so I'm gaining more information the closer I am to my subject. Does this make sense to everybody? Yes? Okay, so now we're going to look at the next one. And again, moving closer. Each time we move closer, we're gaining more detail, okay? This is what's called a full shot. This is what's called a full shot, okay? Why do you think we call it a full shot, Vincent? Why is it called a full shot?
Because it shows their full body.
Good. Created by. So our first one right there, our created by. It's created by showing the full body of the subject. By showing the full body of the subject or main character. Now, does that mean that this has to be a human being, that our subject or our main character has to be a human being, Pixie?
It doesn't. It could be like a flower or something.
Good. It could be anything. Like she said, she gave us a good example of flower. In the example that we see here, okay, this is our main characters or our subjects of this shot are who? Chidi, who are our main characters in this?
The people in the middle.
What can you tell me what they would be? Bennett, what are they?
The
Bennett, what are they? The two people in the middle, man. What do you think they have? Look at their clothes and see if you
what
can
do you
pick
mean
your.
by what are they?
What are they? Look at their clothes. Tell me what they are. Identify the main characters.
Oh,
in
like
this.
bride and groom?
There you go. Good. They're the bride and groom.
Like bride and...
Exactly.
Right.
So in a full shot, we show the full top to bottom of the subject. Still under created by. I want you guys to put a comma, and we're going to put this in here, okay, that if your subject is human, if subject is human, we show head to toe. So you can tell that in our picture here, okay, our main characters are the bride and the groom, and we can see them from top all the way down to bottom. Okay, that's why it's called a full shot. We can see the entirety of the subject. Okay. What do you think the purpose is of this, Cassidy? Why do we use this shot? What's the purpose of this in the grand scheme of things? If I'm a director, why am I showing a full shot, do you think?
Me, Cassidy.
Yep, you, Cassidy. Cassidy Wade.
The purpose to show like the whole. I don't even know.
The whole subject. What?
Yeah, just to like provide what the whole subject like looks like and what they are doing.
So we're identifying what or who? What's our purpose?
Identifying the subject.
Good job. There you go. Perfect. So we're identifying the purpose of this shot is to identify either the subject or the main character. Okay. In this shot that we see here, we can tell the bride and the groom are our main characters. Okay. What about the maid of honor here and the best man? How do we know that they aren't? What are some little tips that we can look at, Emma, to identify that they aren't, say, the main characters in this, that there's only two? Emma?
They're not in the middle.
Okay, location, they're not central. Okay. Bennett, go ahead.
And they're put like a little further back compared to the bride and groom, and they're like kind
Exactly. Good job. They're further back. And because they're further back, they're also not in focus. So if you see other things in your shot, you can have lots of stuff in your shot, okay? But whatever your main character is or your subject of your frame, whatever you're trying to show, you want to make sure that that's in focus. You also want to make sure it's in what we call the foreground, which is up front. In this case, the maid of honor and the best man, they're further back, okay? They're in what we call the mid-ground range, okay? And they're not as in focus. So we can identify that the main character of this shot here is our bride and our groom, okay? And the full shot's job, again, one more time, it is created by showing the full body of the subject or main character. If the subject is human, we see head to toe. Okay. It might work better for doing this where it says created by if you were to put like a bullet. Do you know what I mean? That way, because there would be basically two facts under created by and one fact under purpose. The purpose, like we said, is identifying the main character of the scene. Okay. Now, again, we're seeing the whole thing. So we're going to zoom further in. We're going to move our camera inward. So that means we're going to provide more what, Sydney? What are we going to provide more of for the viewer? More what? Starts with a D.
Details.
Good girl. More detail. So here's our full shot. This one is called a 3/4 shot. Now, using your amazing skills of deduction, Christian, can you take a wild guess as to why this is called a 3/4 shot?
Because it's only showing 3/4 of the subject's body.
Good. So when it says created by, our first bullet is going to be shows the top 3/4 of our subject. Shows the top 3/4 of our subject. That means if our subject is human, then, okay, Lily, if our subject is human and we're showing the top 3/4, where do you think the cutoff is going to be? Divide a human being into quarters. Where's our bottom cutoff going to be?
The waist and above, wouldn't it be just the waist above? And
Okay.
the leg would be cut off.
I don't want to show my full self in this camera, but that doesn't really work. But if I was to divide a human in half, the waist would be the middle, right? So now I need to take the bottom half, which would be from the waist to the toes, and divide that in half to find a quarter. Where's that bottom quarter cutoff going to be? Thomas? Where's that bottom quarter cutoff going to be?
For the 3/4 shot or the 3/4
yes,
shot?
for the 3/4. Michael, what's it going to be?
Oh.
What's our cutoff going to be?
The knees.
Good.
Right.
So our second bullet, for our second bullet under created by, we're going to put subject is human, or we can just put human and then put a little dash after it. And we're going to write down from the knees up. So that means from the knees up. This particular shot is taken from an advertisement from a realtor on Emerald Isle. He was trying to sell me beachfront property, and then he learned I was a teacher, and he walked away very quickly and realized that teachers don't have any money for beachfront property. But anyways, this guy here, looking at him, okay, we're going to show the top 3/4, so that means from the knees up. Now, it doesn't have to be exactly at the knees, okay, but we're getting that general idea, okay? But that's what this is called, is a 3/4 shot. Now, the purpose of this is the same as it is with the full shot. The whole purpose is to identify what? Jules, what do you think we're identifying?
We're identifying like the person, and we're showing like identifying. I don't know.
Use the words. Use the keywords there. We're identifying the subject or the main character.
Okay. So I have to, like.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
You're fine. So, hey, guys, look, we're all learning together. It's okay. You never have to worry about that with me. Okay. But our purpose is to identify the main character. Now, because this is zoomed in a little bit closer, we're going to get more information than we did from, say, this shot. Okay? Because we're closer, we're going to gain more information. Okay? Like, for example, I don't think he would like to know that we gain this information, but what's something that stands out in this particular image? Cassidy Lacey.
He's bald.
Got a problem with bald people?
No, that's just what sticks out to me.
Okay. Skylar, what are we looking for, though? What sticks out to you? When you look at this picture, what do you notice the most?
It's very badly photoshopped.
What is this, Cappy? It's a what, dude?
A green screen.
Yeah, this is pretty clearly a green screen effect. By looking at him, we can tell just by how clear he is as opposed to his background. Also, if we look at our lighting source, where's our lighting source in this image? Christian, what's our light source in this image for him?
I'd imagine that it's actually like a studio light.
No. Like, I mean, actually looking, what is it supposed to be?
The sun.
It's supposed to be the sun, which means his back would be lit and his front would be in shadow. But if you look at his face, you can tell very clearly from the shine on the brow of his face to the bridge of his nose to the apples of his cheeks, and his chin, that he is being front lit as well. And the only way to gain that much front light would be to be in into a room. So this guy is pretty clearly going to be in that this is a green screen, or at least a photoshopped image. He's not really standing on the beach. Okay. Now, if he had hair and we saw it flowing in the wind, probably going to be helpful in helping us out there. Okay. So now, again, we're going to move a little bit closer. So here we go. Extreme long shot, basic understanding of the setting, long shot. Now we have a full understanding of the setting, of date and time. Okay. Full shot, we get to see the whole subject, who the main characters are in this. Okay. 3/4 shot, we're gaining more information. We're getting more specific details in our image. Now we're going to move even closer. Okay. And the next shot is called the medium shot. Okay. It's called the medium shot. All right. In the medium shot, where is our cutoff at? We're going to show, this is created by bullet number 1, Maeve. How do we create this?
Cut him off at the hips and up.
We're not into the human yet, but how do we create this just in general? Because it doesn't have to be a human yet. How do we show a medium shot?
Show half of the subject.
Good, the top half of the subject. So our first bullet is the top half of the subject. Shows the top half of the subject. Okay? And our second bullet for that is, if it's human, where's the middle of the human going to be? Where's the middle of a human?
The waist.
The waist, good. So that means so we're going to put for bullet number 2, if human, and we'll put a little dash, that means from the waist up. Okay, from the waist up. So this is from, obviously, the first Iron Man movie. And you can see the top half of Robert Downey Jr. here. Okay. Again, because it's closer, we're getting more detail, more information in our image. Okay. Now, the medium shot, its purpose is, again, to identify the main character, but we also are now starting to get a basic, because we're close enough, we're starting to get a basic understanding of emotion, a basic understanding of emotion. We're close enough now that we can see his facial features really clearly, so we're getting a basic understanding of his emotion in this shot. Okay? Now, again, moving closer. So if the last one was a medium shot, this next one is a medium close-up. Okay? Medium close-up. In the medium shot, our first bullet was that we show the top half of our subject. But in a medium close, we're going to show the top 1/4. So in your first bullet, for created by, we're going to put created by shows the top quarter of our subject. Shows the top quarter of our subject. And our subject in this movie, or in this particular clip, is obviously Superman. Okay? Because our subject is human here, Allison, and we're showing the top 1/4, where's the cutoff going to be? From the what up?
Like your abdomen up, I guess.
Look at the picture, sweetie. From the what up? Starts with a C.
The chest.
There you go. Perfect. So if our subject is human, we're going to show from the top, from the chest upwards. Now, because we're so far zoomed in, our purpose in this is we have a very, very clear image of the subject's face. In this case, the purpose is to provide a clear understanding of the subject's emotions. You can obviously look at Superman's face here and really kind of get a pretty good idea as to what Superman is thinking and how he's feeling. Like, obviously, you can tell by looking at it, he's extremely, extremely happy. right? I mean, look at his face. Doesn't that just say it's pure joy to you? Some of you are shaking your heads yes. Some of you are going, Mr. Waz has lost it. No, I'm being sarcastic. I'm being facetious with this. Looking at his face, it's obvious he is not exactly happy. This is his stern, I'm Superman look, okay? Don't mess with me kind of stuff, all right? So again, the closer we get to the subject, the more detail we're providing the viewer, okay? We're now getting very close to our subject, getting very close to where they are. So we're getting a whole lot of information, or we're providing a whole lot of information to our viewer, okay? So here we go, full shot. We're identifying the main character. 3/4 shot. Still identifying the main character, but we're getting closer, more detail now. Medium shot, we're showing the top half of our subject. Now we're close enough where we're getting a rough understanding of emotion from our subject. Medium close up, we are definitely close enough that we can get a full understanding of the subject's emotions in this, as we show the top quarter from the chest up if it's human. So now we're going to move even closer. Okay, Lily? We're going to move even closer. So what do you think the next one's going to be called? Danielle, what's the next one going to be called, do you think?
Closeup.
Good, a close-up. And this one, this is my favorite Christmas movie of all time, one of the greatest Christmas movies. Nothing says the holidays to me like Die Hard. You know what I'm saying? Nothing quite says Christmas and Santa Claus and Jolly St. Nick and ho, ho, ho more like Die Hard. You know what I'm saying? A cop fights off a bunch of terrorists trying to take over an office complex. That just says Christmas to me. But in this shot, this is a close-up. And in a close-up, where we're going to put created by our first bullet, a close-up shows the top 1/4 of the subject while filling the frame. Sorry, not 1/4. I don't know why I said 1/4. The top 1/8, 1/8, 1/8. The top 1/8 of our subject, okay? And it fills the frame. The top 1/8, if it's human, so our second bullet, if our subject is human, that means basically from the neck up, okay? So if our subject is human, that basically means from the neck up. So we are just focused right on the subject's face, okay? Which means our purpose is here, if we look at this picture, the last one we had full understanding of their emotions. Now we're close enough, we can get a basic understanding of what the subject is thinking, okay? A close-up shot is we're providing a basic understanding of what the subject is thinking. Obviously, right now, looking at this picture, okay, he's climbing through an air duct. And by looking at his face, you can tell that he's going, man, why did I climb through the air duct? Okay, this is not exactly the best place for me. I hope I don't see any rats, okay? That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I am too big boned to go through an air duct. So we want to be careful on that, all right? But again, as we move closer, we're providing more and more information to our viewer, okay? Now, this is our next one. So if this is close up, we're going to move even closer now. We're going to move in even further in, okay? Candler, camera up, dude. Gavin, as we move forward, what's our next one going to be?
Extreme close-up.
Good, extreme close-up. Okay, extreme close-up. So this one's taken from, I don't remember, one of the last Harry Potter movies. I want to say it's like the Half-Blood Prince. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Half-Blood Prince. But anyways, this is created by zooming in to a specific feature of the subject's face. zooming into a specific feature of the subject's face. In this case, Harry Potter's eyes. Now, this is just an amazing shot in and of itself. It's just a great, great photograph. You can tell that they obviously did some work with After Effects in this. Okay. The purpose of this one is to show a clear understanding of the subject's thoughts and emotions. There's no doubt right now by looking at this, by looking at Harry Potter in this face, you can tell exactly what dude's thinking. Okay. The reflection of Professor Dumbledore in his glasses only helps the situation. Okay. You can even tell by how close we are to Professor Dumbledore, and in the reflection, we can even tell what he's thinking. He's like, Harry, it's okay. This is what has to happen for us to take the next step. I'm going to have to be killed. Okay. Don't worry. You're ready for this. You'll be able to take care of this. Okay. Everybody cool? All right. Now, our next two shots are not depth shots. Depth means we're moving in or out of space. Okay. These are different shots. Our next one is called a two shot. And this is from one of the greatest movies of all time, Pulp Fiction. And when you get old enough to be able to watch it, you should, but don't go doing that now. Don't go home and be like, Mr. Wallace said we should watch this for family movie night. No. Okay. No, I'd like my job. Don't get me fired by doing that. But this is called a two shot. Why do you think this is called a two shot, Dylan? Use some common sense here and tell us why you think this is called a two shot, sir.
Because there's two people in the frame.
Not just two people. There are two, what? It starts with an S.
Subjects.
Good. Two subjects or two main characters. So it's created by having two main characters or two subjects in the shot. Okay. Two main characters or two subjects in the shot. Now, our second bullet for this is that this is a combo shot. C-O-M-B-O. Combo. Combination shot. Why is this called a combination shot? Why is this an example of a combination shot, Christian?
Because it's a, I believe, a, it's a close-up shot, and it has two subjects, making it.
Okay, so it's called a combo shot because, like Christian told us, it has a depth perspective, but it also meets a second criteria. In this case, it has two subjects, but it's also, because it's from the chest up, a medium close-up. Okay, now, do all two shots have to be a medium close-up? No. They can be, just like we saw here in our first one, we have two main characters, right? But this is a full shot. So this would be a full two shot because it's in combination with a depth shot. So our second bullet is two shots are combo shots with a depth perspective. So you have to have a depth to it. So you're never going to be just a two shot. It has to have a depth. Okay. The purpose of this shot is just like it would have been for a full shot. Okay. It's to identify that there are two main characters in this particular scene. So Jules and Vincent are both the main characters. Not that Jules. Sorry, not you, Jules. This is Jules right here, played by Samuel L. Jackson. And this is Vincent, played by John Travolta. Okay. Now, our last of the main shots is called an over-the-shoulder shot. Okay. This one comes from Cappy's favorite movie of all time, Mean Girls. Right. Over the shoulder, okay, is created by, here we go, first bullet. It's created by having the camera placed behind and over the shoulder of the secondary character. In this case, behind and over the shoulder of the character Katie, played by Lindsay Lohan here. Okay? And this is used, and this is our second bullet, or purpose, sorry, this is our purpose. Our purpose is that it's used to show what? What are we trying to show in this particular shot here, Sydney? Come on, you were here all last year. You know this.
Like a conversation or something?
Exactly. It's used to show conversation between the two characters. Okay? All right, and our second bullet for created by, is that it is also a combo shot. So it's going to be shot in combination with a depth. In this case, because it's from the neck up, okay, this is going to be an over-the-shoulder close-up. Okay, over-the-shoulder close-up. Everybody cool? Now we're going to pick up here tomorrow, sorry, not tomorrow, on Thursday, when we look at the different camera angles, okay? So I'm going to stop the share really quick here.